Hey everyone, my name is Wedge. I know we've been doing a lot of deck techs lately, but you all keep asking for them, so we're overloading a bit. Today we're bringing you a homegrown standard Werewolves list. Best part? Super budget. Know how I know? I pieced the entire thing together myself using TCG player pricing. This video is directly sponsored by them, and as we show you the cards in the deck, we'll show you the price of each one so you know how cheap the deck really is. It's pretty cool. If this deck is something you're interested in trying out, the first link in the description can bring you right to the deck list and an easy checkout page if you want the whole thing. Seriously, it's super easy. If you enjoy budget deck techs and want more of these, please hit the like button, helps out a lot. It's no secret that Werewolves didn't get the kind of help that humans got in Shadows over Innistrad. That doesn't mean we can't build something a little awesome. I'm going to outline for you a perfectly competent budget Werewolves build, tell you what you can do to upgrade the list, then give you a few options to make the deck more hilarious. Sound good? Great. We'll begin with lands, cause those are boring. 4 Timber Gorge are the only non-basics in the deck. Gotta love 2-color decks and budget lists. Add in 10 mountains and 9 forests and you have the 23 land mana base. Starting at the bottom of our curve, we have a playset of Village Messenger. This hasty 1/1 for 1 might not seem so awesome, but it is a werewolf, and when it flips, it gains menace and becomes a 2/2. Perfectly serviceable for what we're trying to do, which is attack a lot. While the meta is full of human decks and low-cost creatures, if you drop this turn 1 on the play, there's a real high chance it's going to flip by the time it's your turn again. It's a good card. We have a lot going on at the 2-drop slot. 4 Duskwatch Recruiter are a necessity. Easily one of the best cards in the deck, the Recruiter's ability to grab us extra creatures is hugely important. We are running 28 of them after all. Whiffing on the activation is almost unheard of. Flip it over, most of our Werewolves become way easier to cast, makes casting 3 2-drops on turn 3 feasible if they don't prevent it from flipping. A card engine a deck like this desperately needs. We're also running 3 Kessig Forgemaster. Now this is a card that's caused quite the number of arguments. Some players like it, some players hate it. Personally, I think it gets better and better as long as human decks are still a thing. I don't care what players say. Console's Lieutenant is a stupid card and the Forgemaster simply wrecks that thing right in the face since the trigger happens before any damage is dealt. Flip it over and it has the ability to shock something that'll kill a lot of stuff. Tireless Tracker before buffs, Knight of the White Orchid, basically anything before Thalia's Lieutenant puts it out of range. Look, the Forgemaster is a great threat once it flips, and it will force your opponent into tricky attacks and blocks in combat. Worth playing in the budget build, trust me. Our last 2-drop all-star is Lambholt Pacifist. 2 mana for a 3/3 is almost always great. The drawback isn't even that big of a deal. You're going to get 4 power so soon it's comedic. Even if you don't, the Pacifist blocks like a champion and gives you a few turns to really get your werewolf thing going. Besides, there are a few cards we'll look at soon that makes the Pacifist activate itself, so synergy, yay. Anyways, the backside. While basically being a 4/4 vanilla werewolf, you'll take that if they play nothing turn 2. Attacking with a 4/4 on turn 3 because of your opponent's inaction feels pretty good. Moving on to 3 drops. These are probably my favorite creatures in the deck. We've got some real power here. We'll begin with 3 Breakneck Rider. I know it might not seem like this is a great card as a 3/3 for 3 with double red can be inconvenient, but I promise it's the real deal. Once you flip this, adding +1/+0 and trample to all of your attacking creatures is enough to turn most board states to your favor. Even if the human player has been +1/+1ing due to Lieutenant triggers, this flip will almost always catch you up or put you ahead. It applies real pressure, makes all of your creatures relevant, and punishes chump blocking with 1/1s. No reason to say no. The front side isn't great, but its inclusion is worth it for the Anthem effect. It's so good. Gaia Reach Bandit is our next 3-mana werewolf and the last creature playset we're going to talk about. The Bandit is your best 3-drop, not even close at all. 3 mana for a 3/2 with haste isn't nearly as good as you might think. I put good in quotations because the card is friggin' awesome. The 3/2 for 3 applies immediate pressure thanks to haste, and once it flips, chaos breaks loose and consumes everything. Whenever a werewolf enters the battlefield under your control, you may transform it. Unbelievable, so broken. Imagine your crawling horde howlers on entry to the battlefield. Or Neckbreaker. Even Lambholt Butcher is a 2-mana 4/4 at that point, make no mistake. Build-in Pack Alpha is the real backbone of this deck. It makes for explosive plays and serious value. Even in the non-budget version of the deck, the Alpha survives for a while before being replaced. Hermit of the Natternals is a 3 of, and full disclosure, might be one of the least impactful werewolves we're running. Not that it's terrible, because it certainly isn't, but it does bring less direct impact than most of our other pups. Getting to draw a card whenever our opponent casts a combat trick on our turn or a removal spell at the end of our turn, that's great. Hopefully that means that the creature that died gets to replace itself. When the Hermit flips into the Lone Wolf, we're looking at a card that simply gums up your opponent's plays, forces them to play real clunky to avoid you drawing a bunch of cards. It's actually really funny to watch them try and avoid this trigger. Also, it doesn't hurt that the wolf is a 3/5 when it's flipped. Huge body, great for blocking, attacking, the works. The card is good, and I don't want you thinking it's bad because I said it wasn't the best. How about this? Instead of saying it's not the best werewolf in the deck, let's say it's one of the least best, and that it's still friggin' awesome, just not as totally friggin' awesome as some of the other wolves. Yeah, I think you get it. The last creature in our deck, and a 3 of, is Pack Guardian. This is a card I've been fooling around with, and I gotta tell you, it is so much better than you might think. I really wish more people were using this. 4 mana for a 4/3 and a 2/2, both wolves, is what you usually get with this. That's better than most collected company triggers, by the way, at least in terms of combat stats, you know what I mean. Anyhow, when you have a land card to discard, which you should mid-game, Pack Guardian improves your board state in a big way, adds 2 wolves for the price of 1, and can do it at instant speed, which means you can ambush combat, bring them in end of turn, you have options. One of the dark horses in the deck, but way better than most give it credit for. Strong in the budget build for sure. That's going to do it for creatures, 28 in total. Now for the fun part, the reward we get for playing all these wolves. We're running 2 Neglected Heirloom, cheap equipment, cheap equip cost, great way for the pacifist to trigger itself and attack. +1/+1 comes with a lot of value on its own, but since we're a werewolf deck, transforming the equipped creature is pretty run-of-the-mill, won't be difficult. When we do that, Ashmouth Blade is a beating. +3/+3 and first strike for the equipped creature. Having this happen within the first, 6 turns of the game will put whichever wolf this is on way out of combat range of most anything. We're talking a huge buff, a great combat mechanic, and the werewolf will be stronger naturally. The blade is a great budget option to bring some real power to the table, give you that extra bit of reach you might need. We're also running 3 Moonlight Hunt. This is basically a 2 mana removal spell on anything they have that isn't indestructible. You only run wolves. This will always trigger all of your creatures. 2 mana, instant speed, destroy whatever you want. Seems pretty broken. This is the first real reward we get for running wolves, a broken as heck removal spell. Second reward, you're gonna like this. The last card in the deck, full playset of Howlpack Resurgence. Say hello to the best card in the deck. 3 mana, has flash, and gives everything we have +1/+1 in trample. This is brutality in card form. It's relevant all the time, it hits literally everything we play, and turns them all into serious combat threats in a moment's notice. Flash is just icing on an already delicious cake. This is your real reward for playing wolves. This is going to win you game after game. This card is why your deck is at all competitive. Not joking, all-star right here. Now that we're done with the basic build of this deck, which by the way is around $20, so great price point, lots of quality uncommons in there you might not want to go searching for, click the link below, easy buy. Alright, let's say you like this build, but you want to upgrade your wolf package to be even more awesome. There's room for that. First change, add collected company. Yeah. Wolves become even more ridiculous when they enter the battlefield in groups. All your wolves, besides Pack Guardian, get hit by the company. No reason not to run it. Adds explosiveness and unpredictability to your deck. Next addition, Arlencord. Obviously, she brings a wolf with her, gives them an anthem effect, and pluses herself in the process. Can be a removal spell which lets you make another wolf next turn, Quality Walker. At worst, she's a removal target, and you're okay with that. Definitely would include at least 2, probably 3. At this point, you're cutting your Pack Guardians and probably coming down a few on the Forge Master and Hermit. Now the last big staple you need to make this deck as close to tier 1 as you can get, a Tarkus Command. I wouldn't run a playset or anything, but we're talking about another cheap Anthem effect or a burn spell. I'd probably include at least 1 or 2 in the main board, worst case scenario, board them out. But it's hard to ignore a nice Swiss Army knife while you have it. Add in a few Game Trail for mana consistency and you're good to go, easy peasy. There is one other fun thing you can do. Zada Hedron Grinder and Silver for Partisan together are really funny. You target Zada with a spell, the trigger copies it onto all of your other creatures, the Partisan triggers each time a wolf is targeted, you get a bunch more wolves, you keep doing that, you'll end up with your own pack in no time. It's a super funny combo, and if you want to run it, you can. You're just going to have to remake the deck. No Collected Company, no Arlen Cord. Only play your best wolves at the 2 and 3 drop slots, then add in spells like Expedite, Rush of Adrenaline's good, Might of the Masses is hysterical. You see where I'm going with this? Confront the Unknown is also just great. Okay, anyways, keep stacking spells on Zada, create a million wolves, enjoy your new life. Hope you enjoyed our really long deck tech on red-green werewolves in Standard. I know the tribe didn't get nearly as much love as the humans did, but I think it's still a serviceable deck. Honestly, not as bad as you might think. Plus, let's be honest, we're totally getting more help in Eldritch Moon. I mean, come on. Anyways, let me know what you think about our deck and what changes you would make. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Remember, if this deck is something you're interested in purchasing, or if you want to get any of the pieces at all, click the first link in the description, check out the deck list, and purchase what you need cheaper than anywhere else. Woot! As always, subscribe for the latest and most reliable Magic the Gathering information you could ever need. This is the Mana Source. I'm Wedge. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Wow.